Shalach YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, Bahashem, Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Who Will Be Your God? Power. And pretty much this is centered around a video I was watching earlier that the young elder Kazakh from the Mississippi camp had put up, dealing with this dude Aldo Huxley. I forgot to bring it up, and pretty much he was speaking about, a book that he wrote, The Brave New World, and the direction that humanity was going into, and which is pretty much a plan by the so-called quote-unquote elites to manipulate people into total submission, total control. Because that's the ultimate goal. Once you have the world's riches, there's nothing else, to get. The only other thing that you can have is raw power over the people. And that's a combination of sayings, one from Planet of the Apes, the other one from, I believe that was either Eustace Mullins or Jordan Maxwell, can't remember which one. And total control is their goal. And pretty much they want to be the Most High, because since the world has been given into the hand of the wicked, they have total power, and they want the people of the planet to be totally committed to them solely. Not depending on the Most High, not depending on Yahawashi, not depending on anything spiritual, except for looking to them for everything. And when we read Micah 2:1, I bring this out from time to time. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. This is dealing with the so-called illuminated ones, but you could apply it to anyone in general. But in this case, we're dealing with the so-called illuminated ones, or the wicked, or the Luciferians, because they're the ones right now that have total control over the planet. When the morning is light, they practice it, because whatever plans they have mentally, they bring forth to light every day, as the resources are available to them. It says why? Because it is in the power of their hand. Now, when we look up this word power, the word that's there is the word for God, which is Allah, right? It's God, God-like one, mighty one. So they have that God-like power to, manipulate things on the earth. And what they want, since they have this raw power, they want everyone to be subjected to them. They want everyone to bow down to them. They want to alter people's makeup so that they can become automatons or cyborgs or robots, that the only thought in their mind is how to please their master and keeping their master happy no matter how their master treats them. The proverbial Stockholm syndrome, pretty much. All right, so human augmentation, blurring the line between biology and technology. And as you can see, it's pretty much a systematic control. And this is what the television was all about, which they call the idiot box. This is what programming is all about. This is what the manipulation of the news and everything else around you, and constantly, inserting thoughts into your mind of obedience, like in the movie They Live. When you looked at things, they look just regular, like normal. You have ads and signs and, bus stops and, coffee shops and different things of that nature. But when you put the glasses on, you see the true intention. Purchase or buy, obey, And this is all around everyone, because these devils know that psychologically there's certain things that they can say or do to manipulate people's actions. And that's pretty much what they're doing. And the greatest motivator is fear. After fear is hunger. And this is why they're using those two main tactics, to control and manipulate the people of the planet. I believe that was Henry Kissinger that said, they're going to use food as a weapon. So I have an article here which I posted in the description box. It's from Forbes. Transhumanism and the Future of Humanity, 7 Ways the World Will Change by 2030. And now they said, I believe they say either by 2026 that, or 2030, they want to, the way that phones are used, they want to put it inside of people in so many words. I don't remember if it was 2026 or 2030. And this is the reason why they're having these meetings at the WEF, the World Economic Forum, because they're discussing these policies, and these plans for the future. All right. It says companies today are strategizing about future investments and technologies such as artificial intelligence, which is AI, the Internet of Things. Then you have another one called IOB, Internet of Bodies, or growth around new business models. And you have to pay attention to what these devils say and how they say it, because their part of their power is deception, and their deception is pretty much perpetrated by words. While many of these trends will make for solid investments for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Because everyone is investing in these. Anyone that has money and knows the direction in which the future is going, they're investing in these technologies because they know that this is the wave of the future. Fewer companies are considering the revolutionary convergence of disparate trends pulled from technology. I looked this word up earlier, but I forgot what it meant. I don't have the greatest memory in the world. Essentially different in kind, right? So, in other words, the saying that Jake says, don't compare me to another. So this convergence of don't compare me to another trends, not compared to others, pulled from technology, right? Because why? Because these devils have it in the power of their hands and they practice it. Behavioral and societal changes, see, because it's about, through this technology, it's about the behavior and societal changes. And this is why they slowly putting it out there, something called gradualism, little at a time, suggestions, mind manipulations, commercials, constant, hearing something over and over and over again, which is a term called inculcation, to impress upon the mind by constant repetition, and this is why they do it, because it's a thing of getting people used to it, normalizing it for them, so that when it does come, it's not a shock, and they're, been programmed to accept this new technology so that they can maneuver in this new way of life. It says in medical advances, because this is pretty much where it's going. The medical advances, they're pushing it in that fashion, so medical advances, because it's, once you start cutting into the flesh, now you're dealing with medical things, subdermal. This is why they keep saying, everything, humans are hackable animals. They'll be tracked, they'll be monitored subdermally. See, these are all words that most Jake don't understand. And there's all this white man's crazy, he's just talking some crazy stuff. But they don't understand these are their plans. Medical advances to understand how they will converge to transform society. You see? So it's a slow manipulation, because they study history, and they've seen that in studying history, when you try to take something or force things on people, they tend to rebel. But if you get into the point where you manipulate their mind into making them think that they need it, they'll accept it willingly, which is far easier to get somebody to agree to you and to take it, willingly, or to take it as a matter of what's the word I'm looking for? As a matter of choice than something that they shove down your throat. This transformation will be messy, complex, and sometimes scary. Why? Because they have to cut into the flesh, which they're already doing. You know, you had something back in, I don't know if that was the 60s, the Delgado bull, where he actually cut into the bull's head, into his brain, and connected, you know, these electrodes to the bull's frontal lobe, I think it was, or to the part that triggers emotion. And they would, you know, cause something to happen that evokes emotion out of the bull. And as soon as the bull starts bucking and start getting crazy, they hit a switch and it automatically turns off that part of their brain. These devils are very devious, man. But signals already point to a future of humanity that will blur our identities into transmorglerisms. You know, I'm trying to do it like that to throw the algaes off. All right? And you see it right there. Because what they want is they want to take the Most High's creation and alter the creation. You see? And the main ones that they want to get is Jake. All right? Now, before we read any more of this, I wanted a couple of precepts that came to mind just before starting. And this is in the book of Joshua 24 and 14, because there's going to be a choice. There's going to be a test, for lack of better words, a trial that's going to come down the line, where you're going to have to either choose. We're all going to have to choose whether we're going to serve the Lord YAHAWASHI or we're going to serve this devil. You know, and that's the bottom line. This is what's called the hour of temptation. Right? It says Joshua 24:14. Now therefore fear the Lord YAHAWASHI and serve him in sincerity and in truth. And put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord YAHAWASHI, because this is what's coming down the pike. Esau is establishing himself as the God of the earth. And those that want any form of help or any form of, you know, being able to exist or survive in this new world, as they call it, the brave new world that is being established, you know, they're going to have to comply to their whim, to their everything that they put out there. They're going to have to pretty much pray to them, you know, beg them, you know, for help, beg them for their mercy, beg them for, you know, their goods, because they have everything cornered. They own everything. Right? It says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord YAHAWASHI, choose you this day whom ye will serve. And this is going to be a stark reality very soon, once the whole system goes digital. And they introduce this CHIP, whether they bring the CBDCs in first or some type of cryptocurrency or however they do that part, eventually it's all going to lead to the micro CHIP, which the infrastructure is in place, you know, and their plans is to, you know, micro CHIP everyone. So in my, you know, spiritual assessment, I would find it, you know, as a waste of time for them to try to go about it with different forms of payment instead of just going right for the gusto, which is the micro CHIP. Because their main thing is just like when they passed the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was not going to pass at first because the megalomaniac, you know, Nelson Aldrich put his name on it, the Aldrich Bill, and Paul Warburg, being a smart German Edomite, he said, no, you shouldn't do that because they're going to know it has a big business interest. And sure enough, they did it and they shot it down. So they revamped it, sent it through as the Federal Reserve, you know, which wasn't federal, but it had the look of being federal. And then what happened was those big business tycoons What they did was they took out ads against that bill. So the people that were suspicious of the bill at first said, you know what, there must be something good about this bill because the big business guys, they're against it. So they went for it, but then they said, you know what, they got to change certain provisions in here because we don't like this, we don't like that, we don't like that. So what did Paul Warburg do? He went back and revamped it, made the necessary provisions to get the bill passed into law. Nelson Aldrich, with his stupid ass, right? He was like, no, we don't want to change those. He said, listen, relax. This is what Paul Warburg was saying, relax. All we want to do is get it passed. Afterwards, we can make the changes. But this guy was a fucking idiot, that just had money. So this is what they're doing. They're putting everything into place. So once they get the system in place, then they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. Because then, okay, you don't want to play by the rules? All right, well, then starve. So it says, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, which Jake often does, or the gods of the Amorites. And remember, the gods on the other side of the flood, why didn't they help the people from the flood? The gods of the Amorites that had the land of Canaan, why didn't their gods help them to keep their land? In whose land you dwell, but as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, Yahawah Bahashem YAHAWASHI. So it's coming down the pike. This is why it behooves those of you that watch and that the Lord has opened your eyes to consider what you're involved in, to understand what you're involved in, to understand the repercussions and things that are coming, the tests and the trials that are coming on all levels. Because there's going to be some serious times coming. And then it's going to be known who are my chosen, as the Lord said. Who's been bullshitting and who's serious, who are really the men of the Lord, who are really the women of the Lord. Because it's coming. It's already here. Make no mistake about it. It's just, a matter of them putting the final tweaks, in the infrastructure to get it all rolling out. And as I said, I don't see why they would try to bring in any CBDCs or anything of that nature, instead of just going straight for the gusto once the system is in place. But I just speak as a man, just giving my spiritual opinion on it, and we'll see. Because they may just roll out some CBDC at the beginning and then just jump right into it. It remains to be seen. All right, so Judges 2:11. Israel serves Baals. Now the word Baals with an S is Baal Yum, which is plural, which is, lords, which meaning you're bowing down to these different gods as being your lords. All right. Now this brother let me just get this wow. Let me read some of this that the brother's putting up. Brainwashing, also called coercive persuasion, right? Systematic effort, which another word is hypnosis. Systematic effort to persuade non-believers to accept a certain allegiance, command, or doctrine, or knowledge of the individual by controlling the physical and social environment, see? Because that's what they're doing. They're manipulating the system into, eventually you're going to have to comply to this way of thinking or else you won't be able to survive. An attempt is made to destroy loyalties to any unfavorable groups or individuals to demonstrate to the individual that his attitudes and patterns of thinking are incorrect and must be changed. And that's another term for gaslighting. All right, that's what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is not, or you believe in, or you're doing this, and I'm just adding more fuel to the fire, and trying to expose you. No, gaslighting is throwing questions at you that are contrary to what you believe to get you to change your thought pattern of what you believe or to change your beliefs. That's what gaslighting is. All right, that his attitudes and patterns of thinking are incorrect and must be changed, see? And to develop loyalty and unquestioning obedience to the ruling party. And that would be the international banking families. According to Taylor, cults emphasize positive aspects of the group over negative aspects of outsiders, endlessly repeat simple ideas and highly reductive, definitive sounding phrases, and refer to abstract and ambiguous ideas associated with huge emotional baggage. All right, and the brother put his precept up, Ecclesiastes 7 and 10. Say not thou, what is the cause that the former days were better than these? For thou dost not inquire wisely concerning this. Yeah, because things are going to get hot. They're going to get crazy. So Judges 2 and 11, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord and served Baalim. It says, and they forsook the Lord their power of their fathers, which brought them out of the land of Egypt, and followed other gods, of the gods of the people that were round about them, and bowed themselves unto them, and provoked the Lord to anger. Right. So why did they do it? Do that? To receive the benefits. Oh, we're going to go back to Egypt because it was better for us. At least in Egypt, we were eating the garlics and the leeks and the this and the that and the other, And this is pretty much the thought pattern right now, because they look at Esau as being the Most High. And they forsook the Lord and served Baal and Ashtoreth. Right. And the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he delivered them into the hands of spoilers that spoiled them. And he sold them into the hands of their enemies round about, so that they could not any longer stand before their enemies. Judges 10 and 11. And the Lord said unto the children of Israel, did not I deliver you from the Egyptians, and from the Amorites, and from the children of Ammon, and from the Philistines? The Zidonians also, and the Amalekites, and the Maonites did oppress you, and you cried to me, and I delivered you out of their hand. Yet you have forsaken me and served other gods. And this is the point that we're at right now, to where Jake is accepting this government and Esau as their gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Go and cry unto the gods which you have chosen. Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation. Why? Because when we serve the Lord, in the fear of the Lord, there is no want. Like we read here in Psalms 34:7, the main point is in 9, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them. O taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man that trusteth in him. O fear the Lord, ye saints, ye his saints, for there is no want to them that fear him. You see? But what these devils do is they manipulate, everything, so that you are left in a situation where you just barely have enough. And you have to keep coming to them for help. So in other words, you have to bow down to them because they're trying to take the place of the Most High. Now, let's go back to the article. It says, to understand this topic, our Visionary Innovation Group looked at 3 fundamental pillars of humanity and how they will evolve over the coming 10 to 15 years. Now, this article was written back in 2017, I believe it was. Yep, November 20, 2017. So we're still within this time frame. And you see from this point until now, everything that's gone down, especially from 2020 to present. It says our bodies, our thought, and our behavior. After identifying the driving forces that will transform these fundamental pillars, we extracted key themes emerging from their convergence. Ultimately, our goal was to determine the ways in which the changing nature of humanity and transhumanism would affect individuals. Right, because what are they doing? They're really changing the makeup. And they're making it to where that makeup that they're creating, that Frankenstein that they're creating, will be obedient to them. Society, business, and government. To how it would affect individual, society, business, and government. Why? Because if everyone is on the same page, then it makes their job easier. A few of the trends that emerge from this study include the following 7 trends. We hope they will spark discussion and innovation at your organizations. This one is our bodies will be what? Augmented. What does it mean to be augmented? It means to be increased. Now, why do they want to do this? Well, The reason why is because they want to be the Most High, of course, Isaiah 14. And they understand that the promise of the Most High to us, the Israelites, is that we will be changed, right? So what these devils are trying to do is they're trying to make the change themselves so that they can be in the place of the Most High. 1 Corinthians 15 and 50. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High. And they know that this flesh and blood can't live forever. Neither doth corruption inherit incorruption, because from the moment we're born, we die. Until the change comes. Behold, I show you a mystery. Because this is a mystery which the Heavenly Father gave these devils the technology, knowledge shall increase, to probe into the body, examine the body, the inner functions of the body, the brain and the digestive system and the immune system and the veins and the cells and all of this stuff. And they found ways to manipulate it. That CRISPR, the CRISPR, editing genes and all of that, the genome, down to the genome and all of that. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be what? Changed. When we go to the word changed, the word there is alasso, which the word allos means other. All right? To change, to exchange one thing for another, to what? Transform. And these devils know this. They know about the transformation of Israel. They know of the promise that the Most High made to transform us. They know of the second covenant, being that our innards are going to be changed, our stony hearts taken out and fleshy hearts put in. They know about the augmentation that the Heavenly Father promised so that we can be able to live to enjoy that eternal life. And this is what Esau is trying to do. He's trying to change that for himself. So you see how the Heavenly Father is doing it on the right hand side, but Esau, which he's working for the Most High, is doing it on the left hand side, so that they can take the credit. But remember, they're nothing but the axe. They're not the swinger of the axe. All right. So it says, we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, because the ones that died in the truth will be raised up first, and we shall be changed. See? For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal, which the word mortal means to die, must put on immortality. So what these devils are doing is they're manipulating the human body to be able to live forever on the earth. This is why they're trying to figure out a way to transform or to exchange the thoughts of a person, their characteristics and all of that, into, like the computer, the metaverse as they call it. Let me see. The brother put a serpent, also to observe an omen, to observe keenly brass, as if the eye of a serpent, which is like unto brass, which been keenly observes other organisms closely. Yeah, because remember, it says that the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. These devils are wise in wickedness. Yeah, and that's the word nachash. Or you have something called Nehushtan, which is the brazen serpent. It says, so when this corruptible shall put on, matter of fact, let's look up this word immortality, because this is what Esau is trying to achieve on the left-hand side. Athanasia, which is two words. It's a compound word. Alpha, which is like first, right? And then Thanos or Thanatos is death. So it says undying, immortality, everlasting. And this is why we're imperfect creatures in imperfect bodies trying to live a perfect life to the best of our ability in the fear of the Lord YAHAWASHI. And when the Lord comes back, the elect will be changed first into that promise, because the second covenant cannot be established until we get that change And that change ain't gonna come till we hit the chariots. So that's gonna begin. That's gonna be the beginning of the kingdom / the beginning of the second covenant. You know, the true manifestation of the fulfillment of the second covenant. Once we get the change, because once we get the change, then the laws will be inserted, and then boom, that's the everlasting life. And this is what Esau is trying to achieve physically on the earth, because he's a carnal man. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruption, and this mortal have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that is written, death is swallowed up in victory. And they're trying to achieve this here physically. This is why they're cutting into people's bodies. They're putting, what's that called? Heart transplants and the other thing, the thing that they put into your heart. When they take out the heart, they put like a fake heart in there to keep it pumping. I forget the name of it, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to lick death, but death is the sentence put up over all flesh. So you're only going to go but so far. But this is what they're doing. They're trying to do that because they want automatons. They want cyborgs. They want obedient robots. O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory? Because that's the last enemy that's going to be destroyed is death. Pacemaker, the water, brother. The water. The pacemaker, that's right. You know? The last thing that will be destroyed is death in the case of the Israelites. Okay? Yeah, the water, brothers. Yep, the pacemaker, yep. All right, so let's go back to the article. It says our bodies will be augmented. The coming years will usher in a number of body augmentation capabilities that will enable humans to be smarter, stronger, and more capable than we are today. And we see that happening. It says wearables, like smart watches and wristbands and different things of that nature. That's all to get people accustomed. Wearables will be one form of body augmentation. Right, you have something called the exoskeletons, where you put that on and you become stronger. It says, but they will far surpass the fitness trackers of today. That was back in 2017. We see now in 2023, that from just that short period of time, how much it has augmented. Why? Because knowledge shall increase. In the future, we can expect the arrival of contact lenses that can take pictures or video, universal language translators, earbuds that allow us to communicate anywhere in the world, and exosuits that increase physical strength. We will also see increased use of implants ranging from brain micro C-hips and neural lace to mind control prosthesis and subdermal RFID C-hips that allow users to unlock doors or computer passwords with the wave of a hand. However, the most powerful body augmentation will come from biological augmentation as a result of increased insight into our genomes. Right, and that's the inner workings, the inner makeup of the cells. When you look up the word genome, it's the haploid set of chromosomes in a gamete or microorganism or in each cell of the multicellular organism. This is what CRISPR is all about. Studying the DNA, going all the way down into the basic compounds of the DNA cells in order to change them, find out what's in there, why are people born retarded, why is this happening, why is that happening. Never mind the Most High. They push the Most High out to the side. But they're trying to figure out what is that, which compounds within that cell work, for someone to be healthy and stronger, whatever the case is, and manipulate it to add stuff to it so that it can be augmented or increased so that they can create the so-called master human race. These devils are very devilish. They accomplish a diligent search. They're trying to be like the Most High. Advances in IVF technology that may allow us to select the most intelligent embryos. See? That's eugenics, pretty much. And powerful CRISPR gene editing technology, which may one day give us the ability to eliminate all heritable diseases. They will be like the Most High. because they understand that it says these body augmentation capabilities will give rise to humans that are more resilient, optimized, and continually monitored, because they want to monitor them, because they will be their slaves. And this is a promise, as we read here. We're going to be changed. Matter of fact, let's go to 2 precepts that just came to mind, and hopefully I remember the other one. Just bear with me 1 second while I get these so I don't forget. All right, now let's go back. Philippians 3:21. Matter of fact, start at 20. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, who shall change our vile body. But Esau's trying to accomplish this on the earth. And the word for change here is a little different or a lot different. It's a metaskematizo, which you have something called the meta or the metaverse. Remember, Facebook used to be Facebook, now it's the meta. Everything is being changed into the metaverse. Those glasses, that put you in a state to where you don't know if it's real or if you're in the real world or if you're in the fake world. Going back to the Matrix. All of this stuff is what they've been planning. Okay? Excuse me. Brothers are on fire. Hot damn. Psi is the 14th letter of the Greek alphabet. Uppercase. Yeah, and this was in the movie Megan. The Psi right here. The uppercase. Lowercase Greek, representing the voiceless consonant cluster IPA. Its name is pronounced Xi in modern Greek, and generally in the system of Greek numerals, it has a value of 60. Psi was derived from the Phoenician letter Samak, which means Samak means support. It says Old Greek charagma. Check that out. Chi Psi stigma. All right, so metaskematizo is to change the figure of, to transform. That's what the whole transhumanism is all about. That's what they're trying to do. And I hope they don't take this video down, but if they do, oh well. I remember I did a lesson years ago called they're trying to change the Most High's, they're trying to replace the Most High. And man, they took that video down quickly. So it says, these body augmentation capabilities will give rise to human. Oh, Shalach, I didn't finish the. So let's go to Psalms 17 from there. I think we made the point. Oh no, it didn't. It says, who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. See, according to the working whereby he is able to subdue all things unto himself. Now we go to Psalm 17. And let me get the other one so I don't forget that one. Psalm 17 and 15. As for me, this is King David speaking. It says, as for me, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. And these devils know these things. That is the promise for the elect of the nation of Israel. To live forever, to be changed, to be augmented, to be these superhuman individuals. This is why they make movies like superhero movies, because they know that Israel will be that way. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. We will be that way in the kingdom of heaven. And the last precept I have on this particular point is in Isaiah 40, and we're going to start at 29. He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increases strength. So this is what Esau's trying to do on the left-hand side. He's trying to promise people, if you behave, if you do the right thing, you can also get this. But in order for you to get this, you got to accept that. And that is what? The subdermal, device. Even the youth shall faint and be weary. Yeah, because we'll see it today. Never in my life have I ever heard of 18-year-old, 19-year-olds having to take Viagra and certain pills to get their joint up. That was never heard of before. You know? Shit. Well, let me keep it, let me not even go there with it. But that's terrible, man. Shit, 18-year-old, man, you should have stand up at the, drop of a dime. The wind blows by and, But let me chill. It's the Sabbath too, so let me chill. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord YAHAWASHI shall renew their strength. And this is what Esau is trying to establish on the planet. He's trying to be the God or the power that renews the strength of the human, of the humans. The word there is chalap, to pass on, away, pass through, pass by, to pass, sprout again, right, to come on anew, right. So in other words, out with the old and in with the new. It says to overstep, transgress, to cause to pass, change, to renew, change for better, see, to show newness. So change for better. And that's what Esau is trying to establish on the planet Earth. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. What does that mean? That means that we'll be able to fly. Yes, we'll be able to fly. As crazy as it sounds. That's, we'll be able to add height to our stature, which that's the least thing in spiritual power. As Yahawashi said to his, to his disciples, if you can't do the least thing in pretty much in spiritual power, which is add stature to your height, that's the least thing. Hey, well, Barakate, how about Shemal Shai? The brother said, when I dive into the word or listen to stuff like this, I feel more grounded, centered, and calm. Beautiful. It's about, comfort ye, my people. It says, but they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. And this is what Esau's trying to do with these body augmentations, these subdermal implantations. These body augmentation capabilities will give rise to humans that are more resilient, optimized, and continually monitored. They will also lead to implications around which job opportunities are available to those with and without augmented abilities. Right. If you comply, you can be in it. If not, then you're going to be out. As well as impacting sports competitions with hierarchies based on body augmentation. Yeah, but here it is. If you take a supplement that they deem to be illegal, you'll be disqualified from certain events. But here they're talking about augmenting somebody so that they can compete better. We already see the early days of this with questions around leg prosthesis and whether they provide runners with increased speed compared to that of an average human. At the same time, augmented bodies will usher in risks such as espionage potential via contact lens camera hacks, or even more worryingly, risk of a stratified human race based on those who can afford augmentation and those who cannot. The next one is our thought process will be faster and more transferable. See, and this is what we're gonna be perfect. We're gonna be able to communicate telepathically. Oh man, the sky's the limit. On the right hand of the Most High, pleasures evermore. If the Lord said, in my Father's kingdom are many mansions, I go there to prepare a place for you. You just imagine, space travel. I mean, Esau can only dream about that. Esau has to, make lies, film stuff that are lies in order to make it seem like he accomplished and has gone where never mankind went before. You ain't going nowhere, devil. Your bounds are already set. All right, so you can read through this. I'm just gonna hit the fine points. That's number 2. Number 3 is gamification and behavioral science will increase human productivity, right? And that's why they have those goggles that you put on, that you're in the metaverse, You know? I can't wait to Brightburn vocab alone. Yeah, in the kingdom. You know, if he's an Edomite, you know, or whatever nation he is. Because he ain't no Israelite. So that's, you know, that's another thing, gamification. Oh, and yeah, and the thing about Uber, the innovators of Uber, they pretty much harness this energy within that whole, you know, delivery thing that they have, you know, picking up people, because they make it like almost like a game. You know, they give you the suspense, and they give, you know, like when you read through it, they give you that suspense. You know, they give you, you know, right, like it says here, the spur of dopamine release. You know, how much am I gonna get for this? You know, oh, you're gonna, if you do so many runs, you know, you'll get an extra $50 or $100, and people are, you know, moving, and pretty much you're just in a rat race. Because when you really average, you know, I mean, it helps supplement your income, but when you really average all of the time you spend on the road and the gas and the wear and tear on your car, it really honestly doesn't really add up. You know, your car breaks down, you know, the amount of gas you put in the car, you know, the amount of the hours that you spend out there, you know, and that, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, it augments your supplement, you know, supplements your income, but really it's you know, it's not what it's all cracked up to be. All right, it says we will be more empathetic. Let's see. We will see the emergence of extreme personalization and customization, right? Because just like you, when you're on your phone, right, or on the computer, you know, you go to different sites, you order different things, and then you notice when you're watching YouTube videos, certain ads pop up, and they are promoting the same stuff that you already bought, or things that are similar to it. You know? Yep, another form of slavery. Yep. It says business practices will shift significantly. Conversations focused on our societal values will gain a great deal of attention. And that's pretty much it, you know. And like I said, you can read through this when you get a time, get you know, time. But these are all the plans that Esau has, because he thinks, as the brother put at the beginning of the lesson, he put the inward thought is that their house shall continue forever. You know, but the Lord is going to bring this devil down. They are wiser than Daniel, but this is going to be their own undoing. Let's go real quick to the book of Psalms, and we can end it off on here. Psalms chapter 7, and I'll start at 10. My defense is of the Most High, which saveth the upright in heart. The Most High judgeth the righteous, and the Most High is angry with the wicked every day. And that's true. He's wicked. Look, as much as we get upset, and as much as we desire for this devil to go down, we don't want it as bad as the Most High, Yahweh. All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. You best believe that the Most High is aching to bring this devil down. You know? But he's bound by his word. And this is why scripture say that he's long suffering. It says, if he turn not, he will whet his sword. Yeah, because the Most High is sharpening that sword for Esau's ass, and for 2/3, and for wicked Israelites, and for the nations. He hath bent his bow and made it ready. He hath also prepared for him the instruments of death, because those missiles are already set up. The judgment is already set. He ordaineth his arrows against the persecutors. Same thing, missiles. Excuse me. Behold, he travaileth with iniquity. What does it mean to travail? That's a woman that is at the end of her pregnancy, and she gets all those contractions and birth pains, you know, until she gives birth to the baby. Well, Esau's baby is the so-called New World Order, which is nothing more than iniquity, and hath conceived mischief, right? Because conceive or conception is when a man and a woman get together, the man shoots his sperm into the woman, and that sperm travels through the fallopian tubes and all, you know, all that other good stuff, and gets to the egg. Once it gets to the egg, boom, that's where the conception begins. So this devil he conceived mischief, which is what? His plans of the New World Order, And he's travailing in iniquity because everything that he does is wicked to get to that point, and brought forth falsehood. Right, so this whole augmentation, which he presents to the people as something that's benevolent, and most people that don't know any better, they're like, man, well, that's not bad. It's not really that bad. They want to help us. They want to help us live forever. They want to get rid of diseases, this or the other. Yeah, but they're trying to change the Most High's makeup. They're trying to replace the Most High. So how benevolent it really is it? So that so everybody can be obedient to them. It says he made a pit and digged it, and is fallen into the ditch which he made. And that's exactly what they've done. They've fallen into the ditch which they made. Because they're in it. They're pickled in it, and there's no turning them. It says his mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate. So his whole plans of the New World Order is going to be his own undoing, his demise. I will praise the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai according to his righteousness, and will sing praise to the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Most High. So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.